Do you struggle to get stuff done? Do you lack the motivation needed to even begin something you need to do? We all do, me included. And that's why these two simple tools can really help you get the stuff done that you need or want to. Now, I call them Plan A and Plan B, though they have more technical names, and I'll outline these two tools in the minutes we spend together ahead. And I'll also touch on that elusive thing called motivation to help you keep on track even when you don't feel like it. Now, these tools work great for habits, things that you can quantify. But first, this. Hello, I'm Edward Terry and I'm your personal success coach, and I'm on a mission to help you release the untapped potential inside of you and live the life of your dreams. If you're like me, you can be suddenly hit with an epiphany that something needs to change, or you really need to focus your attention on your goals much more seriously and not get caught up in all that busy work. And if you're like me, this usually happens in the evening, just before bed, and you might even scribble some notes in your journal or add things to your to-do list. Or it might happen when you're on a break, out for a walk, or in the shower. Again, a favourite place of mine to come up with great ideas. Whatever the epiphany is, a need to exercise more, or at least regularly in my case, learn new skills to uplevel your career, or resolve to break a bad habit, the motivation hits you like a speeding train and you feel alive and ready to take on the world, but you go to bed or get ready or come back to a waiting to-do list and the motivational moment has gone. You're back to the routine and the epiphany becomes a dream with no end date. New Year's resolutions are a classic example of this. And with New Year coming along in a couple of months, these two tools might just help you stick with your goals. Can you relate? Comment below. And that's where Plan A and Plan B come in. I'm just like you. I don't get everything done I have on my to-do list, not by a long way, though that's partly down to prioritization, the Eisenhower matrix, which I mentioned in a previous video, and an extension of Plan A, which I call the Big Five. So what is Plan A? Instead of relying on motivation, which is elusive, I think we can all agree, apply what psychologists call implementation intentions. Well, back in 2002, the British Journal of Health Psychology published an interesting research paper. In this study, they took 248 participants and randomly assigned them into three different groups. The first group was the control group. They were asked to track how often they exercised over the next 2 weeks. The second group was also told to track their exercise, but in addition, they were given a motivational message along with pamphlets on heart health and why exercise is beneficial, and these were classified as the motivated group. The third group was given the same motivational messages as the second group. They were also told to do one extra thing differently, and that was to write down when, where, and how they were going to exercise. The results were incredibly insightful. In the first group, 38% of participants exercised at least once per week. In the second group, 35% of them exercised. So it appears that the provided motivation basically had no effect on their actions. It was about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. Ash in the wind as soon as they left the research facility. But in the third group, the group that was asked to be specific about when, where, and how they were going to exercise, 91% of participants managed to work out over the 2-week period. What the third group did differently was they used implementation intentions, also known as an if-then plan. So what does that mean in practice? Well, instead of just wanting to achieve the desired goal, for example, exercise 3 times per week, and hoping it happens, we add a simple implementation intention or if-then and write it down. So your written Plan A or implementation intention could be, if it's 7 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will go to the gym and work out for 30 minutes. The goal is unambiguous. There is no wiggle room. There is no, well, I don't feel like it, so I'll watch Netflix. Or, it's Tuesday, should I get a workout in? Well, human nature has a bias to the easier option. And in the absence of a clear, written implementation intention, a commitment or contract with yourself, you are more likely to do what's easiest in the moment, which is usually nothing. This way of doing things has been proven to be extremely effective in over 100 different studies, so it's pretty conclusive. If you want to get stuff done, you must use implementation intentions. Will you start using them today? And what's the one thing you're going to design an implementation intention for that you've been putting off or not getting round to since, forever? Comment below, let me know. So that's plan A. What's plan B? Let's get into it. Now, I'm going to illustrate plan B with an example from another research study. Participants of this study were all patients with heart problems. They were coming to the end of their rehab period, during which they were doing regular physical exercise as part of the treatment. During rehab, the participants averaged 45 to 60 minutes of exercise each week, and this was consistent across the whole group. After the rehab period was over, the researchers split the participants into 3 groups. Each group was given different instructions on how to proceed with their exercise. And here's where the magic happened. 2 months after they were given their post-rehab instructions, things had changed dramatically. The first group was the control group, and they were just tracking exercise like they were in rehab. They tracked about 45 to 50 minutes of exercise each week, pretty similar to when they were during rehab. The second group added the implementation intentions. They recorded 60 minutes of exercise each week, up on their colleagues in the first group, but still pretty consistent with the upper limit during rehab. But the third group used this new tool I'll talk about next and recorded nearly 100 minutes of exercise each week, which is a statistically significant increase over their rehab time. So what happened? What did they do? What's the magic? Well, they created a plan B, which is also known as a coping plan, to give it its technical term. We all know life gets in the way of our best laid plan A's, and obstacles will occur that mean you cannot do what you committed to do. So you also write out a plan B, or coping plan, in the same format of an if-then statement. But answer the question: if obstacle A occurs, I will do action B to mitigate it. The goal is to find a way to achieve plan A no matter what. In our exercise example earlier about going to the gym at 7 a.m, an obstacle might be you having an early meeting and you need to be elsewhere and you cannot fit the minutes in at 7 o'clock. So your plan B might look like: if I need to be elsewhere for a meeting in the morning, I will work out at 6 p.m. instead on the same day. You might have multiple if-then plan Bs against any given plan A, as there may be things you need to mitigate for each plan B. For example, what if something also stops you getting to the 6 p.m. workout? What will you do then? Go to the gym the next morning at 7 a.m? Great! Write that down too. So, in your Get Shit Done book or your Dreams and Aspirations book, well, I call it my journal, you call it what you will, you'll have a plan A and set of plan Bs for each major thing you want to do. Now, if you're enjoying this video, remember to click the like button. Likes are free and they help YouTube recommend this content to other people who could benefit from it too. You'll be paying it forward just by clicking like. Do it now. Go on. Thanks.
But, Ed, you said you'd help us with motivation.
Okay, true, I did. I'll come to that next. But I have to ask you that if you've been here before or you're enjoying my content, remember to subscribe to help you step into the life of your dreams. Thank you. The fact is that motivation is elusive. You don't always feel in the mood to do something, like study for an exam, work on your dreams, work on yourself, or start that project you know will transform your life. You come home and feel tired and unmotivated, so you stream a show or 3 and chill out. But the next day, you feel guilty for doing this. Now, as we know, guilt is a negative emotion, and when we invite negative emotions into our energetic field, we lower our vibrational state and attract less of what we want and more of what we don't. We beat ourselves up for failing to achieve the things we want, and we often feel less motivated and perpetuate the same cycle. So, you write a plan B for those times when you're not in the mood. It might be something like this: if I'm not in the mood to do Y, then I will just write 1 page of the book I'm working on. Or if I'm not in the mood, I'll just work out for 5 minutes. You get the idea. Now, if you follow plan B and only do a little piece of the task, you don't feel guilty even if you do stream the show afterwards. However, when you start the activity, you often complete plan A because you're there already. So why not finish what you started? And that's how you hack the lack of motivation. Easy, eh? Don't be like most people and get knocked out of the race when the hurdles come up. Use these simple, smart tools to help you stay in the race. Write a plan A and a plan B, physically, on paper, in a book. And keep it where you can see it, not hidden at the back of a drawer. You should go and watch this video next for more insights on how you can embody 7 habits of successful people. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And until next time, my friend, remember to live your light. That was good fun. It was a good take. I liked it. It was fantastic. Shame nobody will ever see it. Oops, stop.